Okay, so let's discuss where we're at. We have the face all sewn and the head all sewn together, and we have our two legs, and we have a tail. So this is what we need to start doing the back body. So here's the back body, and to start that, we need the tail, and we're gonna place the tail between these two notches right here that you should have marked on your pattern. So here's our tail. We're gonna open it up all the way to make sure it's opened. If you're a good ironer, go iron. But we're gonna place it right there where the body says, and it's actually going to hang out a little bit. We are going to place the, right here, this is point FF. We're gonna place that where our seam allowance is, where we're going to actually do the stitching. So we're gonna place it right there. There's a little bit of the tail hanging out. So we're gonna place it between the two bum pieces, the body back pieces, and we're gonna pin it into place. When the tail is pinned into place and it's where we want it to be, make sure that your tail tip is facing up. This is where we're going to be attaching the neck. So make your tail pointing up so it's going the right direction. We'll pin that in place, and we're gonna sew to the W and stop. So there's another pin. Pin that into place. Okay, so we have our tail pinned in, and so we're gonna sew from W down to the end of the fabric right here. We're gonna leave this open right here. We're gonna leave that open. Do not sew there. And then we're gonna turn here, and we're gonna sew from Y clear to the edge of the fabric over here to the edge of Z. And then we'll be able to put the legs in. So let's do that. Okay, see how we sewed from W down, and then we skipped down to Y to Z. We are going to now put those little threads, and at AA on both sides, we're gonna pinch those and we're gonna pull them apart. Tuck your tail up in there so you don't catch it in this next step. Pull it out of the way. So see how we pulled AA and AA? It made a flat seam right here. We're gonna open up those seams and sew from AA across to AA again. Line up these seams right here. Those are important little seams. So they're gonna be the most obvious if we don't line those up. So line those up first, and then pin that into place, and let's sew it. Okay, so I just sewed this bum, I call it the bum, but see how I did it a little bit of a curve? If you do it inward at a little bit of a curve, then it's not gonna make such a pointy little bum. It just takes a little bit of the pokes out of it. So, so here's our bum, turn it around, this is the top, this is where the head's gonna go, and here's the tail. So we just made him a cute little spot to sit. Okay, now we're gonna put the legs on. This is where it's a little bit tricky. Let me move the camera down so you guys can see. Move my sewing machine out of the way. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is where the legs are gonna sit. Gotta get out of the way, but if you kind of pull those back out of the way, this is your bottom seam on the back side of your fox. So we've got our two little legs, and we're gonna pinch this seam right here. We want this seam, these two front and back seams. See the front of the foot? This is the front of the foot, and here is the back, or this two seams. We're gonna pinch them together. Now, this is the back of the leg right here. So the back of the leg is going to touch the right side of the bum. This is the back of the fox, so we want the back of the bum to be touching the back side of the leg. Does that make sense? So we're going to lay it out like this, and then we're going to place it. That's what these little marks right here, the BB mark right here, it's going to touch the inside of the edge of the fabric and touch it right here. And then we're going to have this edge, the top tip, it's going to touch the other edge of the fabric. Can you see that? See how it's at an angle? We have to set the foot at an angle to be able to get it to open up when we pull it all out. For it to be straight when it's all done, it has to be sewn in at this angle. So pin this into place, and don't be afraid to pin it 3 or 4 times in that tiny space, because I swear those little legs move after you've pinned them. So pin them in there good and get them in there. Once they're in there, we're gonna baste it. And we'll be so grateful when we baste it, because if something is wrong with the placement of our legs, we'll be so happy all we did was baste it instead of stitch it in. So there's one leg. We're gonna do the other leg on the other side. So make sure, again, you're gonna pinch the top of the leg, and you're gonna use this BB marking right here. See how this is the back of the leg? This is the foot, the toes, so it needs to be facing the front of the fox when we're done. So the back of the leg has to line up with the back body part. So we're gonna place it this way, and we're gonna place the BB mark again right here on the edge. And then this corner at the top goes to the edge of the fabric too. And then that makes it the right angle to get it so that it fits, or that it'll be straight when you pull those little legs down and it's sewn into the body. So let's pin this leg in, and I will baste it, and we'll show you when we pull them down how it looks. Okay. Pull this out of the way. So see how we just basted? If you baste inside the seam allowance, it makes it so that you don't have to unstitch the basting when you're done. So let's pull our pins out. Here's the before when it's all stitched in. This is the back bum, and these are the legs. So when we pull the fox down, his little legs are gonna go like this, and this is gonna be the front of the fox. Can you guys see that? I'm getting, okay, so you're gonna see that when you pull on it, his little legs come down. It's gonna, as we add the body, it's gonna come down and straighten those little legs out. So that is attaching the legs to the body.